we shall redeem. The test and trials may come and strength and be. Great is He in me. Great is He in me. Every day is a new gift from Elohim. If I endure, He shall redeem. The test and trials may come and strength me. Great is He and me. When I wake in the morning, I'm glad to see that your love for me still remains. Oh, how I long for the salvation, yeah, and your love is my delight. On my knees I pray, yeah, keep me in your way, and I will not be moved. In your love stay, your peace, your joy, your word I search for more. I need your strength to guide me through. For I know every day's a new gift from Elohim. If I endure, He shall redeem. The test and trials may come and strengthen me. Great is He in me. Great is He in me. Every day's a new gift from Elohim. If I endure, He shall redeem. The test and trials may come and strengthen me. Great is He in me. Great is He in me. There's no other beside you, great Elohim, and the joy you give is my strength. Now I can walk higher, with your love I'm stronger, as I walk by faith. Gave us your Son as grace, daily we seek your face. By you our steps are ordered. Keep me, guide me, I search for you completely. And all of this I yearn for you, Father, yeah. If I endure, He shall redeem. The test and trials may come and strengthen me. Great is He in me. Great is He in me. Every day's a new gift from Elohim. If I endure, He shall redeem. The test and trials may come and strengthen me. Great is He in me. Great is He in me. In me. In me. Great God is He in me. In me. In me. Great God is He. Great God is He. Great God is He. Yeah. Great God is He. Great is He. His words are lamp unto my feet. 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 Yes. His words are lamp unto my We bow down and worship you. We glorify your holy name. We praise your holy name today. Today, we bow down and worship you. We glorify your holy name. We praise your holy name today. We bow down and worship you. We glorify your name. We praise your holy name today. Say we bow down and worship you. Oh yeah. We bow down and worship you. We glorify your name. We glorify your holy name. We praise your holy name today. Blessed be the name of Yah. We praise you today. Hallelujah. We praise you today. In all the heaven, in all the
All right, family, shalom, shalom, and welcome. Welcome. We're going to talk about a variety of things, but one thing I'm going to really touch on is gardening. And it's something that I do every single year, and I really enjoy it. So we're going to talk about gardening and doing everything the organic way. And there's a couple of other things I'm going to touch on now. Some of you might have seen the biblical videos that I have been doing where I match up scripture in the Bible with actual locations and historical sites that exist. And it's almost like bringing the biblical text to life so that you can see that all of the information that the Most High gave us is real. He didn't let us down. You know, I know a lot of the Gentiles, the heathens will tell you, oh, that stuff in there is not real. And then when you start finding locations and palaces and all types of sites that match up with scripture, they usually go silent. They go completely silent. Many of them will tell you these things are not real because they actually know what's coming. They know. You know, they're not in complete darkness. Many of them will tell you, let me turn that off. They're not in complete darkness about what's about to happen to them. They're really not. They are fully aware and they know. They know, ladies and gentlemen, they are not in the dark at all. So those videos I'm actually doing public for everyone, but after the month of February, those videos will be for patrons only. I will be continuing, okay? You know, for patrons only. Me, I don't care about having a smaller audience. Shalom, Kathy. Shalom. The slides that I have been doing about different biblical texts, I don't know if you've been watching, but those are the ones that I'm referring to. Oh yeah, they're fully aware of what's going to happen. Many of them do know about their fall, but they don't want to have to face it. But you know, hey, that's their problem. I can only worry about my people. Thank you. I'm glad you are enjoying it. And you know, the irony is it seems like the patrons are the ones enjoying it the most. So the fact that I'll be doing that for you, hey, Craig J, the fact that I will be doing that for exclusively for patrons is, to me, that makes it even sweeter. Okay, I can see some of you I did not make moderators. I have to do that right now. Thank you, Mother Nature. I know you've seen them. You've been commenting literally on every single one. So I'm glad that you are all enjoying that. And, you know, the Most High will never fall short on what he tells us. If he tells us these events happened and these places exist, we can believe him. And I'm finding it quite well. Well, the patrons. Which I don't mind making mods. Absolutely not. No, we have to keep ourselves separate from Gentiles. You know, if we start mingling with them in the last days, whatever fate they have, yeah, you're going to fall. You know, and plus this is really not the time to be going to places like Israel. Remember, that place is defiled. You know, this is why the Most High didn't tell us to go travel there while the Gentiles are in the land. You see what they're doing in the land. Israel is not doing nothing but a bunch of killing and fighting in the land. And remember, it said when the Hebrews are back in their land, it would be peace on earth. There's peace nowhere on the planet. And that's another clear indicator that they are not the people. They're not the ones. Yeah, in Tel Aviv, they're having gay parades. Exactly. They're doing the Sodom and Gomorrah thing over there. That is the truth. Well, yeah, they actually have been cursed from the beginning, you know, but we're seeing now that they are really catching hell. They are really catching hell. It's about to get worse for them. Look, we're not even past the second month of the year yet. And look at all the things that has happened to them. It's only going to get worse. And remember, they're not going to all wake up, just like many of our own people will not wake up. They're not going to wake up, you know, and we have to sometimes accept the fact that the Most High doesn't want even all of the people among us. And we have to accept that. I'm sure there are going to be people in my own family that won't make it, and that's just the way it is. Many of them, I have told them who they are. They're not interested. They're not. They're so far into Christianity. I'm sure they all got up and went to church today. So there's nothing I can do. He gives us free will to whether we want to come to him or not. We can't do anything about that. Yeah. It's just like Ben Amin's crowd, the one that's over there in Demona. They get a high rate of cancer in that spot. And it's because they're near the nuclear plant over there. They put them right next to a nuclear plant. You know why Israel did that. They did that to hope and pray they would just all die off from all of the radiation. But many of Ben Amin's people over there in Israel, the black, Demona, Demona, that's where they're located. Those are the black Hebrews that came out of Chicago. And for a while they were in Africa. And then from Africa, they went into Israel. And they're still there. I mean, his people are still there. But they have a lot of cancer. And it's because they live near a nuclear power plant over there in Demona. And a couple of times Israel tried to get them out of there, but they just never could do it. So, but no, we are not supposed to be in the land right now. Remember, the land is defiled. Yeah, we can better, but it's best not to be exposed to a lot of it. We're just better equipped for this earth, y'all, because we are melanated. We are the most suited for this earth. We really are. And you can see as the different groups appeared on the earth, the strain of human got weaker and weaker, and you see the Caucasoids, being that they lack melanin, are really the weakest beings on the earth. They just appear strong because they have, because of the weaponry they were able to gain so that they could rise to the top. But you remember what the Most High say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And they certainly have spent 6,000 years living by the sword. Yes, they live right by a nuclear plant, and they have a lot of cancer in that group. Yeah, absolutely. They knew what they were doing when they moved that group to that land. And the land was terrible. Hardly nothing grew on the land. They really put them in a bad location in Israel. But see, they wanted them out of the way. You know, they didn't want they didn't want to see them Negroes every day. That's why they put them in a place like Dimona, so they wouldn't have to look at them all the time. Yeah, well, see, you know, you ever notice when Kathy, when white people talk about the sun, they say harmful UV rays. It's not harmful to us. I mean, we do very well out in the sun. It's harmful to them, not to us. And you're right, wicked. The sun is showing you who we are and who they are. That's what the sun is doing. Well, I was actually chuckling and laughing when I saw them screaming for help from President Trump after the shooting. Do something, do something. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care about their cries, only because the Black community has been begging for help when it comes down to gun violence for decades. We have been asking for help, and for decades, they have ignored us and laugh at our suffering, laugh at it. Remember, even when our young get killed, they laugh at it. They made a song out of Mike Brown's death. Remember, they took all the pictures laying on the ground with a hoodie and calling it Trayvoning. You know, they get pure joy out of our deaths. And they're going to pay for that shit. They're going to pay for all of that. You know, they always come online and laugh whenever our people get killed. And then they'll turn around and say things like, they deserve to die. Who the hell are you? Those are the words of somebody with a God complex. You deserve to die. You deserve to be killed. That's a God complex. That's why I will never respect them, and I will never respect their laws. I don't respect their laws. Yeah, you can actually watch the live stream through your email. Like if you didn't want to come on this way, there's also quite a few people that are watching through their email. That's why you may not see them here. I've had that several times where people are watching and they are commenting, but they're doing it through their email. Yeah, right, Kathy, exactly. If they can think we deserve to die, why can't we think they deserve to die? But yeah, that's the kind of stuff we have been getting from them over the years. Or when they talk about the police shooting, they're talking with a big smile on their face. But you know what? They did that during the lynchings too. I remember my grandmother telling me about the lynchings in the South and how when they would talk about it, the white people would have a big smile on their face. They always thought the lynchings was, it was fun. It was entertainment for them. But they don't know that. Remember, the Most High said when they're crying and suffering, he's going to be up on his throne laughing at them. So they're about to get laughed at too when they go through their suffering. It's going to be a lot of people laughing at them too. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, exactly. And remember, we're getting a new covenant after, we pass this Gentile world. We're getting a new covenant, and we're going to get a whole new set of laws to learn. So new, he means that. He means exactly that. That's why remember, we're going to have 1,000 years of rest, 1,000 years, because it's going to take that long for us to learn all of the new things. So he's ensuring that we have more than enough time to learn the new world ahead. It's going to take a while for us to get, up to speed. So that's what that 1,000 years is for. That's a time of rest for us. That's our time of rest. That's our time to kick back and get to know each other and be a real family. Get to bond and get to know each other and get to know each other as neighbors. And you just never know. You never know where we're going to end up in this world. But the beautiful part is every single year, we're all going to be meeting together in Jerusalem, for our holy holidays. We're still going to be getting together. Coming now, we're not going to all live in Israel, but we'll be on this earth in a variety of different places. But once a year, when spring come and Passover, we're going to all be traveling into Jerusalem to celebrate. And man, that's going to be a massive celebration with all of us going into Jerusalem. That's going to be something else. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's hard. I know, Kathy, it is. It's because you are awake. Once you are awake, it is difficult to deal with these Gentiles because you know who and what they are, and you know who you are. And it does get difficult. It makes your stomach turn to just know, we're here because of what our ancestors did. Remember, yes, we have to repent. We have to let the Most High know we are sorry for what our ancestors did. And we're not going to make those same mistakes. We are seriously not going to make those same mistakes again. I tell you what, if there's anyone around me and they start acting out and acting a fool again, I will stone them myself. Okay. I will stone, once we're in the kingdom, I will stone that person myself because I am not going through this hell ever again. Yeah. Kathy, the Moors had a lot to do with our enslavement. They actually helped the white man. That's why I didn't get into the Moorish community. There were a couple of people that tried to pull me in that direction, but I did not go in the direction of the Moors. I didn't. And man, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. There's a lot of our people are lost that are into the Egyptology and the Moorish community and all that stuff. Egypt was not a good place for our people. Remember, we were going through slavery under the Pharaoh. So that was not a good life for us either. That's why the Most High had to come in and rescue our people out of that situation. Yeah, they should have. Believe me, I wish we could take them back up there and seal the cave shut. We should seal the damn place shut. Put them all back in there and just seal it all up so they can never get back out. Yeah, I'm telling you, Kathy, that's how I feel too. If I'm around anybody in the kingdom that try to act like they are not happy, I'm telling you, I will stone them myself. I will stone them myself because I'm not coming back to live like this again. Mm-mm. But see, that's how you're supposed to feel. You don't want to repeat this again. But the Most High did promise us this would be our last captivity. This would be the absolute last one. So we and our children and their children and their children should not see any more bondage. This is supposed to be the very last one. Yeah. Yeah, Kathy, we have to do what our ancestors did, do a horse buy on their butts with a sword. Woo! Yeah, you won't do it. We're gonna be in our right frame of mind, Kathy. You won't have to worry about that. He is, we're gonna be ready for serving him, and we're not gonna have any issues like that. We're gonna be in our right state of mind. The women are gonna be in the roles that we were always meant to be in, and our men will be in their roles and be leading us. And that's the way it should be. Yeah, it has. It is very painful. It is. And when I hear stories of our people getting killed at the hands of Gentiles, yes, a few times it has literally brought me to tears. It has brought me to tears. I remember the last time I really cried, it was for Sandra Bland. I was crying for that sister when she got killed in that prison. That was just when she was hung. She didn't do that to herself. She did not hang herself. They want you all, they always kill us and then want everybody to believe suicide. Mm-mm. But yeah, every now and then they will kill one of us, and it does bring me to tears. It really does. But Sandra Bland, that was the one that got me. That was the one that got me. There was no reason for her to even be in jail. There's no reason why she shouldn't be here. Yeah, I cry for both too. I was upset about Eric Garner too, watching him get choked to death on live TVs. But see, that's what they do to us. That's what they do to us. They will, it's like watching the lynchings again. They will, the only thing is everybody get to see it in the privacy of their own homes. And it's disgusting. They have they have showed our bodies on TV in open caskets, but they don't do that to white folks though. You won't see them showing many white people in open caskets on TV, because when it comes down to each other, they show that respect. But for us, they feel like they don't have to respect nothing. Number two, they will show a killing on of a black man, especially our men, on a 24-hour news cycle, showing it over and over multiple times. See, they don't have to go out to a tree and gather around and watch a lynching anymore, because the mainstream media will make sure they put our killings on a 24-hour loop. That's what they do. But they sure won't show their murders on a 24-hour loop. They only do that shit to us. And those are all the indicators that we know we are the chosen people. If we weren't chosen, those things would never be happening. Yeah, Start Take Jones, Sharon. You're right. His daughter is in an early grave and spent her time fighting for justice. Yeah, they love mugshots. They love showing you getting arrested. They love showing us being killed over and over. Well, yeah, but they get away with killing us on a regular basis, especially the police. A cop in America is never guilty. Yeah, yeah, I believe that, Sharon. I believe that. I really do. I'm not surprised. It is their nature to do things like that. It's just like the postcards. That's equivalent to them sending the postcards of the lynchings. So now they just use the cell phone and exchange our dead bodies. It's the same as the postcard. It's really no different. It's disgusting. They love dead things. They love dead things. They're the only ones that'll put an animal head on the wall in their house, and antlers and all that stuff represents death. And they love that kind of stuff. They love it. It's disgusting. Yeah, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for quitting. I mean, look, they cut off the black man's body parts after when they lynched him, cut ears off, cut off fingers. They thought that was souvenirs. And they love doing that kind of stuff. Put it in their store windows. The black man's penis, put that up in their store windows like a trophy. But they have no regard for our lives. That's why yeah, Sam DeBose, yeah, that was a tough one too. Yapo, I agree with that. That was a tough one watching that. He should have just been written a ticket and then let go. And that's the thing. They train these cops to kill us. And that's something that we have to realize. They train them to kill us. They train them to de-escalate the situation when it's a white person, but when it's one of us, they train them to kill us. Well, Kathy, there's a reason why you are being shown stuff like that. All of us, really. And the reason why is because, see, when the day of the judgment come and these Gentiles are judged, we're going to all be witnesses. All of us are going to be witnesses to tell our account of what we seen and what we heard and how we were treated and how they would laugh at our deaths. We're going to be witnesses. So, in order for us to be those witnesses, yes, we're going to have to see some of these heinous acts sometimes. We have to see it. But we are all going to actually be witnesses on the day of judgment against these Gentiles. So the bottom line is we will have the final say. Okay, make no mistake about that. It may not seem like it now, and sometimes it may seem like our voice is always being diminished, but in that time, your word is going to carry a lot of weight during the time of judgment against these Gentiles. It's going to carry a lot of weight, more than you can even imagine. Because I know how many of us are feeling. We're feeling, we have days when we feel weary and it just seems like they get away with way too much. Because I see it that way too. It's tough. It's tough. But we know when that judgment really do come down on them, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And remember, many of them are going to try to save themselves. And by saving themselves, you're going to be walking about and they're going to come up to you and hand you their possessions because they think that's going to save them. That's how bad it's going to get for them. They're going to literally be handing us things. I mean, you don't be surprised when that happens. I mean, let's face it, everything they have is stolen. When you steal a land and you establish things on that land, everything is considered stolen. Yeah, they're going to cleave on to us. That's right. The Vanguard, they are going to cleave on to us. And the ones that are not listening to us now, they're going to start listening to us. You're going to be shocked at the ones that never gave anything you said a second thought. All of a sudden, they're going to start listening to you, and they'll be taking your conversation a lot seriously. We're just not at that point yet. They're still in that mocking stage of us. But remember, the Most High said he's going to wipe them smiles off of their faces. And all that arrogance they feel in their heart, all of that's going to be taken away from them. The arrogance is going to be replaced with fear. And remember, they're going to wish for death and it won't come. That's how bad it's going to get. They're going to be praying to die and they will not die. He's going to make them stay alive and endure their punishment. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I was reading about a group of white people that are paying reparations now to black people. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We got to do is sit tight. A lot of things are going to change, and I believe Trump is the perfect person to change hearts and minds when it comes down to us. Trust me. Um, he's doing that now. Look at how many of his own people are turning on him. There's a lot. It's not even us. His own people are turning on him. They don't like all this Russian investigation that's going on. They don't like how he's siding with white supremacists. Many of them don't like that. And I was reading an article a week ago how white women are turning on Trump. And I'm sure you can all pull the article up, but I was reading the article maybe a week ago, and it was saying how white women are now turning on Trump. They're not supporting him anymore. They're really pissed off at him. And now after this shooting that have taken place, now you got those parents and people down in Florida that are turning on Trump. In fact, there's articles out there telling Trump not to even bother to come to Parkland, Florida. The residents there say they don't want to see him because Trump will only make things worse. And the funny part, he was going down there to his resort in Mar-a-Lago. Well, Trump stopped by the hospital where some of the survivors are, and Trump was taking pictures with the staff, smiling and giving the thumbs up. And there's a lot of people having a meltdown over that. They feel like he should be sympathetic during his trip, and he's smiling and giving the thumbs up and taking pictures. Trump, it's very clear this man did not have anywhere near a normal existence. This man was taught to feel nothing for others, and it comes through. You can feel it. Yeah, well, the Holy Tongue, there's no coincidence that he's Trump and his VP is Pence, trumpets. Trumpets. Now, you know how close that sounds to trumpet? It's not a coincidence, y'all. Not a coincidence. This is exactly the way the Most High wanted it. This is how he wanted it. No, Trump don't care about anybody, especially if you're a poor white person. Trump don't care about them poor white people that voted for him. He don't give a damn about them. Well, yeah, it is going to change on them. The whole world is going to turn on them. And it's really happening now. If you, because I off and on, I watch the UN meetings, watch how Nikki Haley gets treated in those meetings with the UN. It's been more than one time when all of those countries turned on her. And I was watching it. I was watching it. And she'll get up and make a threat. We're going to pull money. And the other countries will get up and say, go right ahead, pull your money. We don't care. We don't care. See, they're not reacting the way they did towards the US even 10 years ago. A lot of those countries now are looking to China anyway. They're not looking to the US like they used to years ago. So when Trump sits there, because they use money as a weapon, they use it as a weapon. And eventually people are going to get sick of that and say, well, you know what? Take your money. I might struggle a little, but I would rather struggle than sit around and listen to your mouth. Take your damn money. And not to mention, Trump is a very unlikable president. Nobody on this earth likes this man. Nobody likes him. And even other countries like the UK, we're talking about Trump, don't come here because if you come here, we're going to have a massive demonstration. The whole time you're here, we don't want you here. You didn't see that happen to Obama. Now, I'm not an Obama fan, but whenever Obama traveled, you didn't see people getting up and blatantly say, don't come here, like they do with Trump. Yeah, we'll see. America and Israel will fall together. America and Israel will be left on their own. And personally, I really believe North Korea and South Korea are going to come back together. I really do. They've been in talks for a while. In fact, Kim Jong Un just invited the South Korean president to come to North Korea. And they've been doing a lot of talking back and forth lately. I really truly believe North and South Korea are going to come back together. And when they do come back together, they're not going to be with the United States at all. They're going to be with China. They're going to be right there with China. And China already said if a fight breaks out between the US and North Korea, they're going to defend North Korea. They already said it. Well, he all that mess about yeah, you're right, the true royal family. His wife is done with him. She's just going through the motions. And I read she was getting ready to serve him with divorce papers just before he won the presidency. And then when he won, she kind of backed off. Come on, she's a trophy wife, and I'm sure she got a lot of money just to be with Trump. Trump don't look like he can attract, his money got to attract women because you look at Trump. Trump is a very unattractive man. He is extremely unattractive. Believe me, it's his money. Yeah, we will be forced back together. Remember, it's prophesied that towards the end, things are going to get so bad, everybody's going to go back to their own group. That's already prophesied. So I know we seem all divided and everybody is split on things. All of that's going to go away in the end. And you'll see it happening. You'll see it happening, us coming back together. It's already prophesied. It will happen. It will happen. Yeah, Israel don't deserve a dime. They don't deserve a dime. I don't know, S. Wiseman. I was screaming when I saw the back of Trump's head. So apparently, when you saw the wind blow his hair in the back of his head, Trump is completely bald in the back of his head. What he does, he grows the hair on top of his head real long to cover the back of his head. Woo, that's messed up. And that now I understand the hairstyle that he wears. He really can't do a lot with his head without showing his big baldness. So he's wearing it in that hideous hairstyle that he wears every day because it's not really too much he can really do with his head, the back of his head being that bald, unless he just goes completely bald, which most black men would have done. That's one thing. A black man, he's not if his hair ain't growing in certain spots on his head, he'll just go bald. Yeah, I saw that nest on his mama's head. Woo, that was an ugly woman. He took after her. But then again, neither one of his parents were anything to look at. Well, they said Trump takes drugs for his hair, and that's probably why he's so bald in the back of his head, taking all them damn drugs for years. I don't think they sleep together, S. Wiseman. I don't think they sleep together. I think they're in separate rooms. Yeah, he got money, but I don't know. That's scary what's going on with his head. I guess that particular day he should have wore that ugly "Make America Great Again" hat on his head. And maybe he should have done that on a windy day. And I know he saw that. I know somebody probably showed him the back of his head when he was walking up them steps getting into the plane. I know somebody showed them that. I bet you the next time it's windy, don't be surprised if every time it's windy from now on, he's got some kind of hat on his head. Yeah, he's in poor health. Come on. How healthy can he be drinking a case of soda every day? Come on. I believe he has problems, but he tries to hide it. I don't believe Donald Trump is in the great health that he claims he's in. Donald Trump is overweight. He eats very poorly. Um, you even see pictures of him with fast food, and this man is not in good shape at all. He is like the total opposite of Barack Obama. They said Barack Obama got up every day and exercised. He was always in the gym first thing in the morning. And you can tell Trump, the only thing he does with the gym is he probably bite down on a Big Mac as he's walking past the gym. That's probably about as close to a gym that he comes to. Exactly. Money didn't help him at all. This man is stupid. Stock up on Depends. Yeah. Now, see, the back of his bald head was showing, but man, if he was going up them steps and had a shit stain and the back of his bald head was showing, I would have been on the floor. I would have been on the damn floor. Well, they say he doesn't sleep well. That's why you know his health is not good. They said Trump does not sleep well. He only sleeps like a few hours a night. And before he was president, they said he would get up like 3 in the morning and be all over Twitter. I mean, this is what this man did with his life. He literally don't do anything with his life. Using bobby pins. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. He couldn't keep that shit from flying away. He couldn't keep that shit from flying away on a windy day. That's why I'm saying, the hair in the back of his head does not grow. So what he does is he grows the hair on the top of his head extra long to cover up the back. That's what I think he does. That's why I'm saying I don't think there's too many things he can do with his hair. I think he's got limitations. Well, if his hair is just not growing, it's just not growing. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, Jada T, if that's what it is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I know. What he need to do is go in one of them black neighborhoods and let one of the sisters hook him up. They'll know what to do with that bald spot. Oh, y'all crazy. Yeah, that man got problems. But like I said, he and the Most High got the perfect person leading America to destroy it. Trump will definitely destroy this place. He will be the one to do it. He will definitely be the one. Trump is just so reckless. He don't know what to say. When he does open his mouth, it's like a train wreck. He does not. He literally don't know what to say. He says so many inappropriate things. It's not even funny. But again, after the shooting, he did not call that little skinny white boy that did all that shooting. He didn't call him a thug. He didn't call him a son of a bitch. All of the language that he used on the black community, he didn't seem to have those words for him. In fact, trying to have sympathy. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that. Well, yeah, a lot of people are predicting he's not going to make his full 4-year presidency, and he probably won't. He probably won't. But just keep your eye on especially events um, dealing with the Persians, Iran, because in the biblical text it talks about the war with the Persians. Yeah, a lot of people are going to abandon the U.S. at the end. It's already happening. Europe already said, they have to go it alone. They can't depend on the US. And none of the other world leaders are trying to meet with Trump. They're trying to meet with China. Nobody's trying to meet with Trump. Are you kidding me? They know he's stupid. They know what kind of idiot Trump is. Yeah, well, they're going to be left out to dry with Trump. So that's on them. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to go back to normal because we are literally at the end of the 400 years. I don't think America's going to ever be normal again or what they deem as normal. I don't think it's ever been normal in this land. Definitely not normal for us. They will. Remember, China is supposed to only rule for, I think, what, 3.5 years, according to the biblical text, and then they fall. But they have to all be eliminated. Remember, Moab can't even come into the kingdom as a handmaiden and servant. So Moab has to fall, completely fall. Yeah, America's finished. I mean, there's no redeeming this place. There's no redeeming it. Okay, we're going to get into gardening and talk about things that you can plant right now, actually. If any of you love strawberries, this is the time to get your strawberries in the ground in February. You plant them in February and you'll have strawberries by June. So if you haven't gotten any, this is the time to get them. So we're going to, let me just get my screen together here. Let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see this. Okay. All right. Even if you live in a cold place, you can actually plant year round. There's just certain plants that can survive in the cold, even if it's snowing. But we're going to start with January and February. All right. So it really depends on where you live. So you want to check your zone. You just put in your zip code right here. And it will tell you what time of the year you should plant. Oh, I hate you. All right. And it will tell you what zone you're in and the best time of the year to plant in your area. So I'm in New Jersey. And see, it will show you right here. Let me just put this, hold on. I will put this right here. Now, Kathy, what I usually do, I don't buy my seeds. I usually collect seeds from my old plants at the end of fall, and I store those seeds and then use them to grow the following year. But until you get yourself established, what you want to do is buy organic seeds online. Now, there's a variety of places you can go and get that. You can get it from, like, if you want to go to like an online marketplace, you can go to eBay. There's a lot of people selling organic seeds. You can go to like a local nursery. Do you have any local nurseries around you? They will have a lot of seeds. You can even go on Walmart. Walmart sells seeds and plants. Like, if you don't feel like growing the plants, you can get plants from Walmart. You can literally get all the plants you need for the season. Yes. So you want to just type in organic vegetables, seeds, and a lot of places, and they're dirt cheap, very cheap. Mm-hmm. Burpees, yeah. That's another one. They sell organic seeds. Yes, you can grow indoors. Yes, you can. As long as you have a spot that's sunny. And you can even get organic soil. And I'm just going to show you a few things that I actually use. I do not. I do not. But I use my entire patio and I use part of my backyard to grow. Yeah, yeah. Amazon also, you can get organic seeds if you want to buy from them. But yes, you can grow an indoor garden. Even if you live in an apartment, if you got a balcony, because I've helped a few people grow gardens on their balconies in apartment buildings. So you just need a couple of the grow bags. And if you're going to grow inside, you want to make sure you get some nice pots that are deep. And yeah, and you put those plants up in the window. Tomato plants are great to grow inside. Woo, man. One tomato plant, guys, you can get 30 pounds of tomatoes from one plant. 30 pounds from one plant. And if you like the chili peppers, you can get 300 chili peppers from one plant. 300. One plant. I mean, they just keep growing and growing and growing. It's almost like as fast as you pick off chili peppers, you got new ones growing in, and they grow very quickly. Very quickly. Heirloom seeds are good. I like to grow a variety of different peppers. I grow the sweet peppers, the hot peppers, the Hungarian peppers. I like growing like a variety of different ones. But let's get into what to plant. So January has passed, so we're going to go to February. So in February, you want to grow, like if you like broccoli, lettuce, herbs, if you're going to have an herbal garden, like basil, oregano, dill, onions. Onions do great in cold weather, y'all. So if you live in a location that's cold, definitely get onions. And if you can get a variety of different onions, try to do that. Like I always grow the yellow Spanish onions and the sweet white walla. Those they are sweet. When you taste them, they are very sweet. Even if you want the red onions, this is the time to plant, and peppers. So if you love peppers, I know I do. I love peppers. So if you are a big pepper person, you want to get your seeds. You can keep them indoors. Like you can start growing everything indoors. And then once they start growing, you can move the plants outside. Or, you can just start everything outside, just planting your seeds. So if you want onions, peppers, tomatoes, which is another thing you want to start planting now. You want to plant now. All right. Which I really like. In March, which March is coming. So if you like beets, any of your root vegetables are good to start growing in March. All right, so beets, broccoli again is another good one. Cabbage. Cabbage is great, y'all. The beautiful thing about cabbage will grow in cold weather. That and your collard greens will grow in cold weather. It'll be snow outside, and my collard green plants are still growing. Carrots, and get different varieties of carrots. All right, so this is the little finger and the scarlet. And that is, and corn is another good one to grow. cucumbers. So I'm going to leave the link so that you can see spinach. I love growing spinach, and spinach is another one. Very easy to grow, very carefree. You don't have to do a lot for spinach. Spinach also loves cold weather. So if you're going to do a fall garden, you want to have things like carrots, onions, broccoli, collard greens, and spinach. Spinach loves cold weather. It really does. Now, the one thing that don't do well in cold weather are peppers. Peppers tend to love hot weather. So if you're in a state that's warm most of the time, then peppers are perfect, and so are tomatoes. Tomatoes, the hotter it is, the tomatoes will tend to prosper a lot. All right. And then in April, you want to get things like your green beans. Again, beets, some of the same things you'll see, lettuce. And if you plan on growing melons, April is the time to get your watermelons in the ground if you plan on growing those. I do grow melons, and I also grow cantaloupe, which is really good. Now, I like to juice these things. I love juicing my melons and my cantaloupes. Onions, peas. So if you're going to grow peas, April is the time to get that. If you like summer squash, that's another thing that you want to plant now, and it'll be mature for you to eat by the time July and August come. All right. And of course, your tomatoes. Tomatoes are really good to grow any month through the spring. Any month through the spring, plant your tomatoes. Now, we're just going to go up to April, but here's what I want to show you. So you want to look for your zone, and it's all numbered here. All right. So you want to look for what zone you're in, and it will tell you, according to your zone, the best time to plant in your state. Let me put this link here. Now, it's not just about, don't be afraid of the bugs. You'll be amazed at what your garden will attract, Kathy. You'll get used to it. I was the same way. My dad, the only reason why I got used to it is because every single year when I was growing up, my father always had a garden. So after a while, I kind of got used to that kind of stuff. But you will appreciate the bugs, that some of them that will come. They're not all bad. Some bugs are bad to have in your garden, and some are absolutely good to have there. One year, no, actually, every year, spiders will build a nest, their web over like certain parts of my garden. And at first I would knock the web down and they would just rebuild it. What the spiders are doing is catching and eating the bugs that attract your garden. And the nice thing about the spiders, they don't eat nothing in your garden. They don't eat nothing in your garden. They're just there to catch the bugs that come into your garden. That's what they're doing. So they're really harmless to they're not causing any harm to your garden at all. They're just there to snack on the bugs. Another one that you will love for your garden are the bees. There is nothing better than bees coming to your garden, because without bees, your garden wouldn't grow, because everything needs to be pollinated. Now, if you grow things on the inside, you can still pollinate, but you're going to have to do it by hand. So you're going to need one of those really little paint brushes. And when the flowers start growing, you're going to have to just pollinate yourself in order for things to grow. But outside, the bees will take care of everything as far as pollinating your garden. And that's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want. The bees, the butterflies, they'll all get in there and start pollinating. Yeah. Like I said, the spiders don't really eat nothing in your garden. They're just there to catch the other bugs. All right. So there's a lot of bugs that are not harmful to your garden at all. But the things you want to watch are caterpillars. Caterpillars have a tendency of eating, especially your leafy vegetables. And there are things you can do to keep them from eating your garden. Now, one of the things you can use is diatomaceous earth. What that does, it dries the bug up from inside out. It kills them. And what they'll do is when they start eating your plants, you'll just put a dusting on there. Now, here's the downside about it. It works great and it will kill the bugs in your garden. But the downside is every time it rains, you have to wait for the plants to dry and reapply the diatomaceous earth. So you would have to do it all throughout summer. Diatomaceous earth will kill snails. It literally kills everything. So if you got a snail problem, get some diatomaceous earth and sprinkle that around your garden, and it will kill the snails. It will kill slugs, it will kill snails, it'll kill everything. Yeah, you want that. Now, another good thing, we're going to go over, let me see, the best organic fertilizers. Best organic fertilizers. Now, nothing, ladies and gentlemen, can beat worms. Nothing can beat worms as far as organic fertilizers. Worms do so many great things in the soil for your plants. They are literally irreplaceable. Worms will keep the soil loose, and keeping the soil loose will help the root of your plant. Now, I know this may sound sick, but it's really good. Worm urine is an outstanding fertilizer for plants. Worms actually urinate. And when they urinate, a lot of people will take their urine and make their own bottles of fertilizer out of it, and you can do something like that. Now, I bought, for example, just to let you know, I bought 25 worms. I bought 25 worms. Okay. By the end of summer, I probably had 2,000 worms. But see, that's what you want. That's what you want. Worms are good. Worms are good for your garden. You can't get more organic than worms. Mm-hmm. You can, and I'm going to talk about the castings, but worms are outstanding. I mean, I know some of y'all might be a little squeamish, but worms are outstanding. Once you put them in your garden, you don't have to do anything else. You literally don't have to do anything else. The worms take care of everything, and they don't harm your plants. They don't do anything to harm your plants. So you can buy worms online, but also keep in mind, I know some people will take worms and toss them in their compost. You want to be careful doing that because, yeah, they poo and all of that's good for your plants. If the compost bin gets super hot in the summer, it will kill all of the worms. Okay, worms are not good in baking in 90-degree weather. When the weather gets hot, they tend to go into the soil and stay in the soil until things kind of cool off, and then they'll kind of come to the surface. But, even their skin will burn in the sun. That's why they will go into the soil. But don't be afraid to have the worms. You want the worms. You definitely want them, just like you want the bees and any pollinated butterfly. Well, no, it don't have to be cool for worms. It can be 70 degrees, and that's perfect for worms. But I'm saying when it reaches temperatures like in the 90s, the worms will stay in your garden, but they'll just go into the soil. And that's perfectly fine. You want them there. You definitely want the worms in there. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah. You don't need that many. You probably can, like, if you don't have a big garden, you can probably toss like 10 of them in there and the 10 will be just fine. They'll just keep multiplying over and over. But that's what you want. You want them to keep multiplying. Yeah, they don't really do anything to you. I mean, it's not like they're going to bite you and cause any harm. No, don't worry about it. If you don't want worms, there are other alternatives that I'm going to go over, but I'm just saying one of the best things to have are definitely worms. Now, let's look at some of the other things. Now, if you're not about digging into a lot of soil, then you want to get the organic spikes right here. Okay. And all you got to do is loosen up the soil, make the soil loose, with a shovel, or you can get some tools for your garden. And once you have everything loose, then what you want to do is put these spikes into the soil. And those spikes will fertilize your vegetables and your tomatoes. Okay. So some people like this and they prefer the spikes. Now, you will have to do this over, throughout the season. It'll tell you how many times that you have to put more spikes in the ground. And you do get good results. I've used these a few times and I got pretty good results, with the plants putting out good fruit and vegetables. And that's exactly what you want. So you might be comfortable with the spikes. Another thing are the earthworm castings. This is another very good thing. I use this. You can get, like if you want to start with a smaller bag, like this one is $13.87, or you want something bigger, a 30-pound bag or a 15-pound bag, you won't have to buy any more throughout the summer. That should cover you for spring and summer. And you see the earthworm castings are good for indoor and outdoor plants. So if you intend on growing indoors, this is perfect to have. And this comes from your earthworms. So you don't have to have earthworms. You can just have their castings. All right. So house plants, vegetables, flowers, and more. All right. So you might want to do that. And then there's some more liquid ones. Now, this is for trees. I don't know if any of you, you don't mind mixing your fertilizer. See, you put 2 ounces in 28 gallons of water, and then you feed your plants. So you might be comfortable using a liquid. I don't know. I don't really use the liquids. I tend to stick with the more drier things like the earthworm castings. You can use the organic sea mineral fertilizer. That's another good one for plants. I know I used this one year and my tomato plants got real green. They got like almost a dark, rich color green. And if you want to see what this looks like, this is what it looks like. All right, so you just mix this in with your soil. Tomato plants really responds very well to this particular fertilizer. All right. And you can use it for your entire garden. So if you have flowers, you can use it for flowers as well. All right. And you can see the different prices. for this, a 5-pound bag, a 10-pound bag, and a 50-pound bag. All right. And then there's more like liquid nutrients for the soil. Again, I don't use these, but they are organic. All right. You can use these. All right. For growing big tomatoes. And it'll tell you what's like if you want a maximum strength fertilizer, and that's for buds and blooms. So it'll tell you for vegetables, you want this one. And liquid plant food. So you just have to be careful when you mix these and make sure you use the proper amount of the liquid ratio to water. And this is another one. This is a fish and seaweed fertilizer, which is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. But me, I always stick with the more drier kind of fertilizer, like your earthworm castings. And there's more. You can just type in, like on any site where you're looking for fertilizer, just type in organic fertilizer and it will show you all of the different ones that they have available. Yeah. So if you don't want to deal with earthworms, you can get the earthworm castings instead. It still gives a lot of good nutrients to the soil. Oh, let me go back to it. Hold on. It's called C-90 organic fertilizer. That's SEA-90 fertilizer right here. It's a mineral fertilizer. And you know what? The thing about the organic fertilizer, they really don't have a strong smell to them. So it's not like you'll be inhaling it and it'll give you a headache or anything like that. It really don't. The sea mineral one, it barely has a smell. Does not have much of a smell. Okay. So you can also get organic soil. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right. So you can go to like if you want to get organic soil, Home Depot is usually where I go because it's the closest place to me. And you can go to somewhere like Home Depot and get organic soil. If you're really looking for that kind of soil for your garden. And they tend to have it more of this in the spring, you know. And the nice part about Home Depot, if you don't want all that soil in your car, a lot of times they will deliver it to your house. You can schedule a delivery of the soil, and even like a close by nursery. Like if you have a nursery close by, just about all of the nurseries will deliver soil to your house. You'll be surprised. You get a lot of soil and it's not that much money. I last year I got um a half an acre of soil, and it was only $50 for a half an acre of soil. And I had it delivered right to my house. And they bring the big truck and put it anywhere you want it in your yard. Well, it's soil that has not been treated with pesticides. That's what it is. That's what organic soil is. And believe it or not, there's still some around. I know it almost seems impossible that the white man did not get to all the soil, but he literally no, all of the soil is not and you know, and even in Africa, a lot of that soil is organic. You know that reddish looking soil that you see on the ground in Africa? They said that's the purest soil on the earth. That's the purest on the earth and the richest soil on the entire earth right over there in Africa. That's why when you see on TV, like some pictures, like when they're in Africa and you're seeing the people and you see that reddish looking soil that the people are standing on, that soil is supposed to be the purest and richest soil on earth right there in Africa. Why do you think all these countries are going into Africa to grow their food? That's why. It's the best soil on earth. They say you want that red soil. You want that. If you live in Africa, that's the soil you want. that red soil. Yeah, yeah. But you notice something, S. Wiseman? The best soil is on the land where the black people live. Not a coincidence. But yeah, I learned a lot about that soil in Africa. They said that is the purest soil on the planet and the best soil on the earth. That's why China's there growing. All of the European countries are also there growing food as well. They're all there growing food. But, when I was watching a video a couple of years ago, and it was showing an orange in Africa and an orange that they sell in America. The orange in Africa was like 5 times the size of an orange that we see in America. I mean, it was huge. Everything, even a lemon. We get these little puny looking lemons in the store. When you look at the lemons they grow in Africa, you will fall over. They are ginormous. You think we're getting the best fruit. We're not even getting the best fruit in the US. Even people in South America get better fruit than we do. Yeah, in Africa, I was talking to a few people over in Africa. I used to belong to a Hebrew group, and we had a few people in our group from Africa. And I remember they were saying there is so much land in Africa that has never been occupied ever. And it's just sitting there, never been occupied. We could literally buy up a whole bunch of land in Africa and build homes and live there. And they got the land available. You see the size of Africa, right? There's over 1 billion people on the continent of Africa, and there's still tons and tons of land unoccupied all over Africa. All over Africa. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a video of an African market where they're selling fruit. You're going to fall over when you see this fruit. Hold on. Um, Hold on. Let me see if I can find it first. Africa. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, wow. I can't stand seeing all these East Indians. But yeah, all of the fruit is way bigger than the fruit here in the United States that they sell in Africa. Let me see something. I wish I would have kept track of that video. It might not be out here anymore. Yeah, I don't think it's out here anymore. But there was a video out here that showed you the size of the fruit in Africa and the size of the fruit in the US. And it was like, it would have blown you away. If I ever come across something similar to it, I will definitely post it in our next hangout. But yes, fruit that grows in Africa is way bigger. And Africa also have more pineapple because Hawaii is a big place that grows a lot of pineapple. There's a lot of pineapple growing in Africa too. That's another place that grows a lot of pineapple. Yeah, yeah. But believe me, white people are always over in Africa. They just try to discourage you from going because, see, if we start going to Africa, we're going to be learning our history and connecting the dots. Okay. And they don't want that to happen. They want you stupid and docile. They want you to think something is wrong with Africa. How can something be wrong with Africa and every nation is in there stripping out the resources? Come on. Again, stop believing everything these demons say. Do you know the people in Uganda were asking Black Americans to come there and open up shop? They were saying that they can't stand the East Indians and the Asians. The East Indians and the Arabs in there are the main ones that have stores. So they are kind of forced to buy from the East Indians. Yep, Lake Victoria. Yep. Um, they're kind of forced to buy from the Arabs and East Indians from their stores. And they say when they go in those stores, the people of Uganda said they get treated like crap. In fact, the East Indians and the Arabs won't even put money in their hand. Whenever they buy something, the East Indians and Arabs will put their money down on the counter because they don't want to touch their hand. And, and they were saying if Black Americans came to Uganda and opened up businesses, they would completely stop buying from the Arabs and East Indians and buy directly from us. And they were like, why won't y'all come here and open up a store? I was like, wow. I mean, that's deep to hear that. But yeah, they said if African Americans came over there and start setting up stores for them to buy out of, they won't even buy from Arabs and East Indians. They wouldn't do it. See, here's my thing. I wouldn't mind doing that, but we would have to have some kind of security. I wouldn't trust the Arabs and East Indians. See, somebody like them would probably get jealous and try to burn your shit down. So you would probably have to have people that, you pay for some kind of security to watch your location. But they were saying that they treat those people in Uganda like crap and they're making all of their money off of the people there. Yeah, torch their shit. Well, I know I was looking at Kathy, I was looking at the cost of homes in Uganda. Those homes are cheap. I was looking at one, and this probably was like back in 2015. I was looking at houses over in Africa. They had a home in Uganda. They had a home in Uganda, right? The home was 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. It was huge. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. And the house was $60,000. And it was huge, y'all. The house was huge. And it was in Uganda. I couldn't believe it. And it was not a bad looking house at all. It was not bad looking. It was a nice house. And I was really surprised. But see, America plays a lot of trickeries on us. What they do is they show you the worst part of Africa, the poorest people there, and they make it seem like there are no nice homes in Africa. There's a lot of nice houses in Africa. A lot. Okay. Yeah. Well, they have sex with the men in the islands too. That's only because white women are perverts too. Anyway, in Cameroon, you can get a decent house in Cameroon for $20,000. $20,000, you can get a decent house, maybe like 2 to 3 bedroom house in Cameroon for $20,000. Okay. Housing over in Africa is a lot cheaper than here in America. It really is. You get more bang for your buck. In Nigeria, if you have $100,000, you can go to Nigeria and have a mansion built. If you have listen to me now. If you have $100,000, you could literally have a mansion built in Nigeria. I mean, I've been looking off and on at houses in Africa for years. I've been looking. And there are some really nice houses there. Very nice. Nice houses in Ghana too. Go pull up real estate in Ghana and look at the houses they got in Ghana. The houses are very nice. But again, American media, these son of a bitches, will only show you the poorest Africans in the poorest parts, and they will never show you the more affluent Black people and the way they live in Africa. Africa is just like here. You have your poor class of people, and you also have your more middle class and more affluent African that has a lot of money and wealth. So you have different classes of people in Africa, just like you have different classes of people here in America. But they won't tell you that. See, somebody like Trump, that's why he can sit up in your face and call Africa a shithole. And people that don't really study Africa and know what's there will just sit there and believe him. Africa is a very beautiful place. Most of the world's animals live in Africa. The Most High didn't set that place up like that for no reason. Okay? At the time of Noah, our people were not getting attacked and eaten by animals. So it was okay to be around them. Times were very different back then. Adam was walking among the animals. Adam would go into the Garden of Eden and sit with prides of lions, and he didn't get eaten. They didn't attack him. There was once a point in time that you don't realize that we were able to go around a variety of different animals, and we never got attacked or killed by those animals. Life is very different now. But Adam, remember, had dominion over the animals, which means he ruled the animals. He literally could just sit with lions, walk alongside of elephants. Adam did all of that in the Garden of Eden. And he never got killed or hurt by any of those animals. And see, what you don't realize, when we make it into the kingdom, it's going to go back to that. It's going to go right back to the way things were, where we can exist among these large animals, sometimes big animals, and we won't get hurt by them. And they won't want to hurt you. They won't have any instinct to hurt you in any kind of way. I mean, you can imagine we lost a lot being in this Gentile world. We have lost so much of the things that were natural to us and we have never experienced before. But when you read the Bible, you know, all of these animals and us, we coexisted for thousands of years. And it's the truth. You know, I was reading, there were lions in Israel up to about 1100 years ago. That was the last time lions were in Israel. But before then, 1100 years back, there were lions in Israel. We were among the lions. We were among the bears. We were among all that stuff. And nobody was afraid of those animals. Nobody was afraid or in fear of it. It's different now because we're in the Gentile world. So it's very different now. Very different. Now, when you first get your garden, the first thing you want to do is fertilize and make sure you turn the soil and get the soil real loose. You want it loose because your roots will grow a lot better in a looser soil than if the soil is packed tight. You don't want that. And get your soil prepared before you put your plants in the ground. So what you want to do is make sure the soil is loose, loosen it up with a shovel, or if you have some type of gardening tool, loosen up the soil, and then get your fertilizer down. Let your fertilizer stay on the ground for a good 2 to 3 weeks before you start putting your plants in the ground, in your seeds. That way the fertilizer can kind of settle into the soil. And then once you've done that, then go ahead and plant your seeds or put your plants out there. If you decide you don't want to grow everything from seeds, then you can go to a nursery or go somewhere like Walmart and buy your plants and put them all in the ground. So you have to decide what's convenient for you. That's what you're going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Mm-hmm. You know, I grew elephant ears. I grew a plant called elephant ears, and man, they got big. They got as big as an elephant ear. The actual leaves, they were huge. Yeah, yeah. You know, like I said, we once had a very good coexistence with the animals. You know, we lost all of that when we got punished. We lost all of that. Yeah, it does feel like being in a zoo with them. Yes, you know, and that's good that you brought that up, S. Wiseman. Now, you can also fertilize with newspaper. Don't throw your newspaper out. Use some of your newspaper for your garden. That carbon, your newspaper contains carbon, and that carbon is also good for the soil. So you definitely want that. And eggshells, don't throw your eggshells away. Crush them up and put them in your garden. You know what your eggshells do? They will cut up the caterpillars when they try to go into your garden to get to your plants. The eggshells will actually cut them up and kill them. And plus, the eggshells contain calcium, which is also good for your soil. So don't throw your eggshells away. Make sure you rinse them because you don't want the yolk residue in there. So just rinse them and just put them aside in a bag. And then what you want to do is crush them up real good and add them to your soil. Coffee grounds are good. Yep, coffee grounds is another good fertilizer. Very true. All right, so things that banana peels, also save your banana peels, put them in your garden. That's potassium, adding potassium to the soil. Yes, eggshells, banana peels, anything that you're peeling, make sure you keep those things. Scraps, like if you have vegetable scraps, let's say you were cutting up celery and you were going to throw, the part of the celery that you don't eat, keep that, put that in your garden. You want to throw that in compost. So if you don't have compost, try to get a compost bin. That's a natural fertilizer right there. All of that food that you're throwing away, you can throw right into your compost bin. Do you know you can take your dust bag from your vacuum cleaner? That makes good compost. Don't throw that dust away. Believe it or not, your plants thrive on that dust. That dust is good for your plants. So what you want to do anytime you empty out your vacuum cleaner, save the dust. That's another thing that's good for your plants. You can some people use the peels of oranges and things like that, but everything that you're discarding, you can now throw into your compost. Yes, you can actually get like a little compost bin that sits on your kitchen counter. So you just throw all of your scraps into that bin. A lot of people do that. Let me show you. There's one for the kitchen counter. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. In kitchen. Here we go. I'll show you what those look like. Let me share my screen again. A lot of people don't have room for a big compost bin. I have a big one. I got one like this right here. This is the one I have, and I have it in my backyard. And I have my compost in there. And I just, all throughout the year, I go in my backyard and I toss my food scraps and everything in there. So if you have like a watermelon, throw your watermelon rind in there. Cantaloupe, because all that stuff will break down and decompose, and you want to put your newspapers in there. You want to just rip it up into shreds and throw your newspaper in there. Eggshells, dust from your vacuum cleaner. If you have dust, you want to throw all that dust in there. And believe it or not, when you throw your scraps in there and you're ready to use your compost actually smells very fruity. It has a nice, pleasant smell to it. Every time I go to use mine, it has a strong, fruity smell to it. And that's the way it's supposed to smell. So you want scraps, paper. Make sure if you're throwing cardboard in there, you just cut it up into little pieces. Leaves, dry leaves are good because dry leaves are filled with carbon and dust. So all of that you want to just throw in there. All right, so this is one for the kitchen counter. You just put this on your kitchen counter and you see how it has charcoal filters. All right. And it's a countertop, as you can see right here, indoor countertop, recycle bin pail. That's your little compost. And you just take that, and you just put it in your garden after you accumulate it. See? Just like this, compost, and the carbon pads keep it from stinking. 'Cause you definitely don't want something on your kitchen counter and it's smelling. The carbon pads will keep it from developing a stinky smell as it's breaking down. And then all you need to do is carry it outside and put the scraps in your garden. That's it. And this one is 35.99, but there's different ones. You can get, like, this one is stainless steel. There are some porcelain ones as well. I mean, here's another white one. Indoor compost bucket. So you don't really want this in your house no longer than about 7 days. And then you definitely want the lid on there, no longer than 7 days, and then take it out to your garden. Here's one. And this has a little handle, and you can put your scraps in this one and then carry it outside and dump it in your garden. So you may want something like that, but like I said, my compost bin is outside. And this one is 15.95 if you want something like that. But like I said, I have the bigger one like this one. And it's nice because I can turn it and really mix everything up. And you don't have to turn it every day. You know, you can turn it like twice a week. And when you turn it, you want to do like 5 to 6 full turns. And that's it. And then you just walk back in your house, and it will break everything down and sit in there over the winter. And the nice thing about compost, if you have compost, you don't really need to buy fertilizer, because everything that all the nutrients that your plants and everything needs will just come directly from the compost. So that's the nice part about having a compost bin. So you get the little kitchen counter one, or you can get the one that's outside, like the one I have. Yeah, yeah, you know, the inside, and just make sure you get one that's odor free. You don't want to have something sitting on your kitchen counter and it stinks up the house. So you want to, you know, those charcoal pads really are good, and they do work as far as absorbing. And I believe you don't have to change those like for a few months. So if you got 4 and like every so many months you change that pad, then you're probably going to have enough for the entire season. Yeah, you know, you can use the diatomaceous earth. Believe it or not, diatomaceous earth also works on fruit flies. It will kill the fruit flies too. So, you know, if you grow on the inside, you just have to treat the plant. That's all. You know, you just have to treat it for the bugs. Where, you know, like the diatomaceous earth, when the bugs go onto the plant and you have that coated on the plant, it will just kill the bug. You know what the beautiful part? Lettuce is very carefree to grow. In the summertime, y'all, I literally have a salad every day directly from my garden. Lettuce grows so fast. And I like having a variety of different lettuce in my salad. So I'll go out and get myself a tomato and onions and the lettuce and carrots. And I literally every single day, all through the summer, I have a salad straight from my garden. Yeah, well, you know, and unfortunately, you know, the bugs are good. There's some bugs that are good, and there's some that are not so good. Remember, they like the same thing we eat. So it's just a matter of kind of fighting them off. Now, I didn't, you know what, Kathy, I've never seen any roaches in my garden. Now, I see crickets. The crickets are in there, but I never seen roaches. That's one bug I've never seen in my garden before. I think the only problem I had last year, and I really didn't have it ongoing, there was one gypsy moth nest in my garden, but I was able to get it out. And I never had another one for the rest of the summer in there. That was probably the only thing that happened last summer. But you know what? Let me tell you something, Mother Nature. One thing, once you got your garden and it's producing fruits and vegetables, I tell you one thing. There is nothing more liberating than walking into a supermarket and you don't need their produce. I love that feeling. I love that feeling. I don't have to buy bell peppers because I grew my own. I don't have to buy their onions because I got my own. You know what I mean? That's what's priceless about having your garden. Now, I know some of you are squeamish about the bugs, but I'm telling you, when those plants start bearing their fruit, you're going to change your mind about a lot of things. And I kid you not, when you start seeing those tomatoes come and those peppers come in and your cucumbers and boy, I'm telling you, it is you're going to see gardening in a whole different way when you can enjoy and eat what you grew. I'm telling you, all of that will change. It will all change. I love when my plants start producing and I can see the fruits of my labor. And I walk outside and my tomato plant is loaded in tomatoes, loaded. You know, one year I had so many tomatoes, I had to give them away. I had so many during the summer, so many. But you'll fill your freezer up with everything that you grew, and that is a beautiful feeling. It really is. By the end of the summer, my freezer is packed with everything, that I've grown. It's packed. And it takes me quite some time to get through everything that I grew. And as I'm cooking with all of the vegetables and everything that I grew. Oh yeah, you're gonna feel better. When you're eating from your garden, no, number one, you know what's in it. You know what's in everything that you grew. Number two, when we go out and buy fruits and vegetables, you really seriously don't know what these farmers have done. You don't know what pesticides they've used. You don't know. You just don't know. You're buying this stuff and you don't know what toxins are in there or nothing, or what pesticides they used in the soil to even grow the fruits and vegetables because they don't really tell you. But when you grow your own, you know it's organic. You know what kind of fertilizer you use to grow that plant. So there's no fear of GMO. There's no fear because you know what you grew. It's a priceless thing to be able to grow your garden. It really is. Um, Now let me pull up some of the seeds because the seeds are actually cheap this time of the year. This is the time to buy it. Let me see. Chili pepper seeds. Here they are. See, this is $1.40 if you want the Thai peppers. I've had these, and man, they are hot. Woo, them Thai peppers are hot. So if you like, if you like them hot, you'll get plenty hot from these. I've had these before, and they're very easy to grow. They grow fast. You literally can get 300 Thai peppers from one plant. You don't need but one plant. You're going to have so many from one plant, you won't need but one. You can also get, like, if you want the ghost peppers, which are the absolute hottest, you can get those, but there's a lot of variety. You can get the jalapeno peppers. I've had those before growing in my garden. And you've got the Indian chili peppers. So if you like them hot, you can get them pretty cheap. This is $4 for 106 seeds. So you can literally just use a few seeds and then save the rest. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, here's some good news for you. The shelf life for seeds is 30 years. Habanero peppers, yeah, those are good. Shelf life for seeds, 30 years. So if you buy a pack of seeds and you don't use them all this season, you can just save them for next season. 30 years. Not bad. Yeah. You can make sure they're organic, and you can just put that in. Like, hold on. Organic seeds. And it should bring up all of them right here. Crimson seeds for $1.99. Those are organic. Or you can buy like a whole pack of them, non-GMO, certified organic, non-GMO, winter vegetable collection. Or you can get, here's a golden autumn collection, like if you wanted to grow in the fall or you wanted to grow in the winter. And these are herbs, like if you wanted to grow an herb garden, here's non-GMO, 100% organic right here. And you can grow your own herbs. $13.99. And let me just get into, here's another one where you can just get a variety of different. This one has the jalapeno peppers, the carrots, pumpkin. I mean, it depends on what you want. Green beans, cherry tomatoes, red onion. So you can get something like this. Is a combination broccoli, combination of herbs and vegetables. That's what it looks like here. So if you want something like that. So you know, it depends on you and what your preferences are. But you just make sure whatever you buy, it has things that you like. You know, don't buy a whole bunch of seeds and then in the collection, there's things you just absolutely hate. So here's another one, non-GMO. And you'll see some of these are survivor kits where people will buy these if there's, you know, a disaster, then they can turn around and grow their own fruits and vegetables. And you can see this one as well, you know, beets, broccoli, cabbage, vegetables. So, and these are non-GMO, organic. So you can specifically put those words in and it will pull up everything. Okay. And there's lots of them. All right, and here's a pepper mix, organic, 150 seeds for $1.43. And hey, free shipping too. Look, rainbow pepper mix, free shipping, $1.43. Not bad. All right. You want to have me grow it for Oh. Yeah, heirloom seeds are good. I have some of those too. Like I said, once you start growing your plants, you won't even really have to buy seeds. You can get your seeds directly from the plant. And once you're able to get to that point, you won't need to buy anybody's seeds. All you need to do is get the seeds, dry them, and then store them for the next season. Yes. Yeah, yeah, the peppers are purple. Yeah, I've grown purple peppers before. Yep. But you got to understand bell peppers are actually hybrids. Bell peppers are hybrids. And you can get a lot of the chili peppers, a lot of them you can get in organic. And I grow sometimes I like the Hungarian peppers. Um, you can grow the cayenne peppers and but see, I love a variety of peppers. Oh yeah, I grow the yellow, the orange, the purple, um, the green, and the green will turn red if you just let them stay outside and mature a little longer. And you prefer a more mature pepper, you can just wait until the green pepper turns red. And like I said, and I grow the hot peppers. I like a variety of different peppers when I grow in the summer. Just like I like lettuce, I grow like 2, 3 different lettuce. I like the butter crunch and the romaine lettuce. I like to kind of mix it up. Sometimes I get the Simpson lettuce. That way I can mix them all up for my salad. Mhm. Yep, purple. Yep, here it is. Let me go back to it. Yeah, you can get purple. Mhm. I remember one day I went into my supermarket and they had purple peppers. And I was like, "You got purple peppers?" And they said, "Actually, the shipment got mixed up." And they ended up with all these purple peppers that they were selling in the store. But it tastes like a bell pepper. It doesn't really have any different taste to it. It's just a different color. That's all. But if you eat it, it tastes like a bell pepper. That's not bad. $1.43 and free shipping. That's not bad. Oh, well, we have deer around here too, Ayapo. There's ways you can get rid of squirrels and deers. Squirrels are actually easy. Um, what you got to do with squirrels is just give them something every day. Usually, what I'll do is I buy the raw peanuts and I'll just put a few out there for the squirrels, and they stay away from my garden. Squirrels are easy. You just got to distract them with something. You give them, and when I make my salad, the scrap of the carrots, I'll just put them out there for the squirrels, and the squirrels, they love that. If you distract them with other things, they'll leave your stuff alone. We have deers and squirrels and rabbits out where I am. Please tell me how to get rid of deer. Well, you got to put things in your yard that, here, I'll show you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. I'm going to turn this off for a second. There is ways you can get rid of them. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Okay, here it is. This is perfect. Okay, now one plant that deers absolutely hate. Let me share my screen with you. Deers. All right, here we go. Because I have these in my yard. Let me come back to this screen for a brief. One thing that deers hate, do y'all know those plants, black-eyed Susans? Ever heard of that plant? A flower. It's a yellow flower, and the center of it is dark, black-eyed Susans. Let me show it to you. Some of you might know what it is. I mean, it's a very common flower. This plant right here, black-eyed Susan. Deers hate this plant, y'all. They hate this plant. They don't like it. They don't like the smell of it. And they won't come in your yard if you have black-eyed Susans. So what you need to do is plant these around your yard, and that will get rid of your deer. The deers can't stand this particular flower. Yeah, it's called a black-eyed Susan. And the deers hate that particular plant. They hate it. Yeah, they hate it. In fact, let me go to right here. All right. So right here, you want this plant, the black-eyed Susan. It's a deer-resistant plant. They won't even snack on it. They absolutely hate this plant. All right. So it's what people call a deer-resistant plant because the deers absolutely hate it. They don't like the fragrance. They don't like, or if you got like a deers, hold on, let me just put that in here. Deers hate evergreen. So if you have any evergreen in your yard, deers hate evergreen. They don't like that. They don't like the smell of it either. Mm-hmm. Um, I'm trying to see. Now they're talking about using a whistle. I have never used a whistle to scare off a deer. I have never done that. Now I know there are some repellents that you can buy. A lot of people use right here. These are bars of soap. Believe it or not, deers don't like the scent of soap. And what people will do is they will take the soap and hang the soap up in trees. Like they'll put it on a rope and hang it up in the trees. And the deers don't like the scent of soap. So they hate lilac and bars of soap. You can buy some lilac plants and put them around your house. The deers don't like the smell of lilac, and deers don't like the smell of bars of soap. And, I know here in New Jersey, there's people that hang them around in your yards to keep the deers out, and it does work. Yeah, we have a lot of deer where I am too. We have a lot of deer, and probably as many deer as people. Yeah, a lot of times if you have a dog, they won't come in your yard because they don't like dogs. So, you got a dog, they won't come in your yard at all. But, here, if I open my back door and walk outside, they usually will just jump over the fence and leave. Yeah, yeah. The black-eyed Susan are probably the best, I would say, out of all of them because, like I said, they don't like the smell of that particular flower. Nah, I never did anything about coyotes now, I would have to look that up. But you know what? Well, I'll take that back. I had a friend that lived in California. Now, the coyotes will mess with the little dogs because they'll snatch them and eat them. But coyotes generally won't mess with a big dog. Now, they won't mess. You got a big dog, a coyote ain't messing with no big dog because the big dog will kill a coyote. Where you live, Grand Canyon. Ooh, that's terrible. Oh, y'all, do you know the latest cat that has gone extinct in America? The cougar. The cougar is officially extinct in America. I was reading about it in January. The cougar is extinct in America. Extinction has only happened during the Gentile world. Yeah, the bobcat, but bobcats are kind of big. Those animals are not as little as you think. Bobcats, yeah, look at the size of some of those bobcats. They're pretty big. Yeah, the cougar is extinct now. Is this white man's fault? I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. They throw some opioids in the yard and kill off the coyote. That's probably the only place you're going to see a cougar is in a zoo now. That's it. They're gone. Yeah, yeah, Kathy. Yeah, the ones in captivity are probably still around, but out in the wild, they're saying the cougars are gone. And I believe I read it on National Geographic. Yeah, I mean, they're gone. I do strawberries, cantaloupe, watermelon. I don't grow corn every year. Some years if I'm in the mood for it, I'll grow it. I always grow onions. I grow garlic. Garlic is easy. You just leave garlic in the ground over the winter months. And then when spring come, your garlic is ready to eat. Peppers. I grow string beans. And here, I'll show you the ones that I grow. I grow the bush beans. Right here. These are the ones that I usually grow. And they're just what they say they are. The plant looks like a little bush and it grows string beans. And literally, I kid you not, every day I'm clipping the beans. They grow so fast. And the plants last for about 50 days. After 50 days, if you want to continue to grow, when the old plant kind of stopped producing after about 50 days, what you do is just pull them out when they're no longer producing and then just replant new plants just to keep the cycle going all throughout the summer. And that's all you need to do. So the string beans are real easy to grow and they're pretty cheap. Like if you had to buy them, you can get these in organic heirloom seeds. And these are non-GMO, David's Garden seeds, and best early green beans for gardeners. And believe me, they grow long, real long. And this is not bad. It's $6.95, and you get 100 seeds. I usually grow about 20 plants at a time through the summer for my green beans. I do broccoli. I do collard greens, cabbage, carrots, lettuce. I would say I would probably have like 20 different plants in my yard growing all at one time. So those are some of the things that I do grow. I used to grow squash because my dad used to like to eat that, but since he passed, I have not grown any squash. You can do eggplant. That was another thing my dad liked. You know, if you like eggplant, you can grow eggplant. He used to like okra. I didn't care. I don't care for okra, but he used to grow okra. So it depends on what you like. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you like to eat. I would recommend whatever you like to eat, that's what you grow in your garden. Right. Use diatomaceous earth on your collard plants and you won't lose it to bugs. When the bugs go to eat it, the diatomaceous earth dusting that you put on there will kill the bugs. You'll have some good leaves. Yeah, you know, my father used to grow okra. But yeah, S. Wiseman, buy a bag of diatomaceous earth. I'll show you that. Get the food grade organic. And like this one. And then what you need to do is sprinkle this on your plant. You don't need a lot. You just need like a light dusting of it on the plant. And that'll keep the bugs from eating up your plants. Now, they also got something else, but I never tried it. Let me see. Bear insect kill. Here it is. Let's see here. What you do is you add this. Now, I never tried it before. So, but I do know about this stuff because I've seen it in Home Depot. What you do is you mix this in your soil. Once you have it mixed in the soil, this will actually kill the bugs from eating your plants. When the bug tries to eat your plant, it will actually release itself from your plant. And it will kill the plant kill the bug if it attempts to eat your plant. I have never tried that, but I have seen that in the store. But I'm just telling you, the easiest thing is a nice dusting of the diatomaceous earth. The only thing is, like I said before, when it rains, you're going to have to let the plant dry outside and then reapply it after each time it rains. That's the only thing you really need to do. So if you sprinkle it on and let's say you don't get no rain for a week, then those plants are good for that week. And if you grow carrots, carrots are pretty carefree. Once you put carrots in the ground, carrots will do their thing. The only thing you got to do is just wait for the carrot to start peeking up out of the ground. It'll start pushing its way up once the carrots are mature. And that's the only thing you got to wait for. They are literally carefree. You don't have to do anything once you plant your carrots. Carrots don't even require a lot of fertilizer either. Very carefree. Nope, they said they have not seen a cougar in a while. See, what they do is they go by not seeing them in a while for a few years. And once they don't spot them anywhere in the country for a few years, they declare it extinct. And that's what has happened with the cougar. It has not been spotted in, I think, more than 3 years. They haven't been spotted in the US anymore. So the only ones in existence are the ones that are in the zoo right now. That's it. And they're going to eventually die out. You know, this white man, he's a killer. You know, they have hunted animals on this planet to extinction. They have. And that never occurred until this white man came into power. Animals did not go extinct on this planet until they started ruling this earth. Now it happens. Oh, thank you, Ayapo. They demonetized my rant. I'm not surprised. They always do. But yeah, they demonetized my rant. Yeah, and if you have like raccoons or groundhogs or anything like that in your yard, just try to get them removed. You know, there are some people that are experts at catching them and getting them away from your house because they can be another destructive thing to your garden. So I know one year I had an issue with a groundhog and it kept coming in my yard and I was able to get it removed. I didn't want to kill it. I just wanted it to get away from my home and someone came out and got it. So you want to make sure you take care of those kind of things too before you start growing your garden, or you're going to wake up every day and your garden is going to be eaten up by a groundhog. Yeah, I had a groundhog problem one year. No, you can just now my uncle, he gets raccoons down in Florida. He said that hang out around his house, so he'll just set up a trap and just set it free in the woods. That's all they do down there in Florida. When they become a nuisance, they just capture them and then take them into the woods and just let it go. He said he doesn't want to kill it. He just wants it away from his house. And then that's pretty much what I did with the groundhog. I had a guy came out, he set up a trap, he caught it, and he just took it away from here and set it free. He didn't kill it. Wow, I never had a bat in the house. You live in a mansion in the Grand Canyon. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we can seal them in with the caucasoids, the cones, and they can be sealed into the cave. We don't care. But yeah, Home Depot and Lowe's, those are also two places to buy fruit and vegetable plants if you don't feel like growing them from seeds. So Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, they all sell plants. In fact, you could probably go there in February and March and just buy up the plants you want for your garden. You can do that. Oh, really? Oh, hell no. You can't remove them. Oh, hell no. In my house, oh, they getting removed. Okay. I don't care what law it is. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't care what they say. If I had bats in my house, I'm sorry. Them suckers are getting caught. I don't care what time of the year it is. They better try again. Let's see if all right, so that's the plant. That's just the schedule, um, plant schedule, and that's the worms, which some of you got squeamish over. All right. Yeah, I would have got them things out of my house. I don't care what season it is. That's no. Mm-mm. All right, y'all. Now, the slides, like I said, the ones that I've been doing and about the Bible, I will continue to do those. But like I said, after February, they will be for patrons only. It will be only for you. And believe me, I got so many more that I want to show you. It is just incredible of how many towns that I'm locating that still have the remnants of, the ancient housing and everything that was there. And you see how far we come. When you look at a lot of those ancient homes, the whole house was just one room. Can you imagine that? The house was just one room. And that's where the husband and wife and the children were just in that one room. You can tell life was just very simple back then. We did not have all of the things that we did, and people were fine with their way of life. But they will keep coming. Now, I will not be putting my videos out until later on in the morning. And that's only because, there's a few things that I have to do in my life. Once I get those things done, I would say just anticipate my videos being uploaded probably tomorrow, maybe like around 10 in the morning, somewhere around then. And I might actually do a hangout for everybody because I think tomorrow is President's Day. I like doing the holidays because I don't celebrate the holidays at all. So I might do a hangout, a public one tomorrow where everybody can come, because there are some topics that I would like to kind of go over. So I'm going to end the hangout now. And I just want to thank you all for coming. And we'll talk a little more about gardening. Even in the next hangout, we'll talk some more about gardening and more things that you can do to maintain your garden so that you don't lose it throughout the summer months. So I'll give you some tips on that, as well as preparing for your fall garden in August. August, you want to prepare for your garden that you intend on growing in the fall. Even if you live in a cold weather place, there are certain things that really love the cold weather, and you can actually continue to enjoy and eat out of your garden, even through the fall and winter months. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to meet with you. And until we meet again, you all have a wonderful night. Peace, family. Shalom.